Did you know that putting the wrong foods in your refrigerator could silently ruin their nutrients, upset your digestion, and even hurt your heart or joints over time, especially after age 60? Many seniors believe that keeping everything cold is the safest choice. But the truth might surprise you. In this video, we'll reveal 9 common foods you should never refrigerate, and what to do instead to protect your health and preserve their natural goodness. A small change today could make a big difference in how you feel tomorrow. Welcome to Smart Seniors. Today, we're diving into 9 everyday foods that most people, especially those over 60, are storing the wrong way. If you've been tossing everything into the fridge to keep it fresh, this video might change the way you think. Some of these foods actually lose nutrients, texture, and even develop harmful compounds when kept cold. Stick with us, and we'll show you what not to refrigerate, and what to do instead to stay healthy, strong, and sharp. As we age, we often become more cautious about food safety, and for good reason. Many people over 60 rely on the refrigerator to keep everything from fruits to bread fresh for longer. It seems like the logical thing to do, right? But here's the surprising truth. Not all foods belong in the fridge. In fact, some of the most common items in your kitchen actually lose their nutritional value, spoil faster, or even develop toxins when exposed to cold temperatures. For example, did you know that refrigerating potatoes can increase sugar levels in them, which may harm your blood pressure and blood sugar? Or that putting bread in the fridge makes it go stale faster, not slower? The problem isn't just about taste, it's about your health. Poor food storage can affect digestion, immunity, and even your energy levels. That's why today's video is more than just a list. It's a wake-up call for smarter living. Let's go through 9 foods that should stay out of the fridge, and learn the right way to store them for a healthier, stronger you. First, potatoes. The hidden danger in your fridge. When Mary, a 68-year-old retiree from Ohio, started noticing her blood sugar creeping up despite eating healthy, she blamed it on age. But during a routine nutrition check, her doctor asked a simple question. "How do you store your potatoes?" She shrugged. "In the fridge, of course. Doesn't everyone?" That one habit was silently affecting her health more than she realized. You see, refrigerating potatoes may seem harmless, but it can actually trigger a chemical reaction that turns the starches into sugars. And when those sugars are later exposed to high heat during cooking, like baking or frying, they can form acrylamide, a compound that has been linked to inflammation and even cancer risk. For older adults, especially those managing blood pressure or insulin sensitivity, this could quietly sabotage their efforts to stay healthy. But let's go beyond science for a moment. Potatoes are a staple, comfort food that many of us grew up with. Mashed potatoes on Sunday dinners, baked potatoes with a pat of butter. If we're going to keep enjoying them, we need to store them right. Here's what you should do instead. Keep your potatoes in a cool, dark place, ideally between 45 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. A pantry or basement works well. Use a breathable bag, like a paper sack or a mesh produce bag, so air can circulate. Avoid plastic bags, which trap moisture and encourage rot. And if you notice any sprouting, just cut those parts out before cooking. But try to use them before they get too soft or green. Now, a quick tip from Dr. Ethan Wells. Think of potatoes like your joints. They hate the cold. Keep them at room temperature, and they'll stay strong and stable, just like you should. Ready to make the switch? Trust me, it's a small change that makes a real difference. So, before you toss that bag of potatoes into the fridge next time, stop. Give them the space and air they deserve, and your body will thank you. Second, honey. Nature's medicine, not for the fridge. When Robert lost his wife, the mornings felt colder, emptier. But every day, he'd still make her favorite breakfast, oatmeal with a drizzle of honey. One day, he reached into the fridge to grab the jar, only to find it thick, grainy, and impossible to pour. "It never used to be like this," he muttered. What he didn't realize was that storing honey in the fridge was stripping away one of the few comforts he had left. Honey is one of nature's most incredible gifts. It's packed with antioxidants, has antibacterial properties, and offers gentle support to the immune system. For seniors, it can even help soothe sore throats and aid digestion when used properly. But here's the thing: cold ruins honey's natural magic. Refrigeration causes honey to crystallize. This doesn't mean it's gone bad, but it becomes thick, gritty, and hard to use. Worse, unnecessary temperature shifts can affect its flavor and texture permanently. Honey is naturally long-lasting. When kept properly, it can stay good for years, no fridge required. So, what's the right way to store it? Keep honey in a tightly sealed glass jar at room temperature, ideally between 64 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Store it in a dry cupboard, away from direct sunlight and heat. If it crystallizes, simply place the jar in warm, not boiling water for a few minutes and stir gently to restore its smooth consistency. Dr. Ethan Wells has a tip for you. Treat honey like your wisdom, warm, golden, and meant to be preserved naturally. Don't freeze it out. And here's a little bonus. Using a teaspoon of honey in warm tea before bed can promote deeper sleep and calm nighttime coughing. Just make sure it's raw, unfiltered honey for maximum benefit. So, before you toss that honey jar back into the fridge, think again. Let it live on the counter where it belongs, and let it comfort you the way it's meant to. Third, tomatoes. Don't let the cold steal their flavor. Helen had always loved her garden. Even at 72, she still woke up early to water her tomato vines, proud of their bright red color and juicy taste. One day, her grandson asked, "Grandma, why don't your tomatoes taste like the ones from the store?" She smiled and said, "Because I don't put them in the fridge." That answer held more truth than most people realize. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that supports heart health, reduces inflammation, and may even lower the risk of certain cancers. But these benefits, and the deep, sweet flavor we all love, can fade quickly when tomatoes are stored at cold temperatures. Refrigeration damages their cell walls, leaving them mealy, bland, and far less nutritious. When tomatoes are exposed to temperatures below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, they lose their natural ripening process. This doesn't just change the texture, it can actually lower the amount of lycopene and other valuable nutrients. And for older adults who rely on nutrient-dense foods to maintain energy and protect against disease, that loss matters. The best way to store tomatoes? Keep them at room temperature, between 64 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, out of direct sunlight, and stem side down on a flat surface. If you buy slightly underripe tomatoes, let them ripen fully on the counter. Only refrigerate them as a last resort. If they're overripe and you need to buy time before cooking, give them no more than 2 days in the fridge and bring them back to room temp before eating. Here's a tip from Dr. Ethan Wells. Tomatoes are like your memories. They flourish when kept warm and natural. Don't let cold storage rob them of their goodness. And here's something you might not know. Eating tomatoes with a small amount of healthy fat, like olive oil, helps your body absorb lycopene even better. A simple tomato salad can go a long way toward protecting your heart. Ready to rethink how you store your produce? Good. Because fourth, we're moving on to something most people toss in the fridge out of habit. But it's ruining your morning routine. Let's talk about bread. Fourth, bread, the comfort food that hates the cold. Every Sunday morning, James would toast 2 slices of bread, spread a little butter, and sit on his porch with coffee in hand. It was his moment of peace. But lately, his bread felt dry and crumbly, even though he'd just bought it. "I don't get it," he muttered. "I keep it in the fridge, like everyone says." That simple habit was quietly ruining his favorite ritual. Bread is one of those staple foods that brings comfort and energy, especially in the mornings. It contains complex carbohydrates that help fuel your body and even support brain function. But here's what most people don't know. Putting bread in the refrigerator doesn't keep it fresh longer. It actually makes it go stale faster. Why? Because cold temperatures cause the starch molecules in bread to recrystallize much more quickly, making the bread dry out and harden. This process, called retrogradation, happens even faster in the fridge than at room temperature. The result? A loaf that's dry, tough, and far less enjoyable to eat. So, what should you do instead? If you eat bread regularly, keep it tightly sealed in a bread box or in a paper bag inside a cabinet, somewhere dark and dry, ideally around 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. If you've bought more than you can finish within 4 to 5 days, slice it and freeze the extra in a zip-top bag. When you're ready to eat, just pop a slice in the toaster. It'll taste freshly baked, without the fridge damage. Dr. Ethan Wells shares a simple reminder. Bread is like routine. It needs the right rhythm to stay good. Keep it cool, but not cold. And when in doubt, freeze, don't chill. Another quick tip? Avoid pre-sliced bread if possible. Whole loaves last longer and taste better when stored correctly. And always check for mold. Bread can go bad without smelling off. So next time you think about tossing that loaf in the fridge, pause. There's a better way to preserve flavor, texture, and joy. Fifth, garlic. Keep it dry, keep it powerful. When Linda moved into her daughter's home after retirement, she offered to help with cooking. One afternoon, while prepping dinner, she reached into the fridge for a bulb of garlic, only to find it soft, sprouting, and slightly moldy. "What a shame," she sighed. "Your grandma would have never kept garlic cold." That little kitchen habit had quietly ruined one of the healthiest ingredients she used every day. Garlic isn't just for flavor. It's medicine in disguise. It contains allicin, a natural compound known for its anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and immune-boosting properties. Studies show it may support heart health, help regulate cholesterol, and even reduce blood pressure. For seniors, garlic is a natural ally against common health concerns. But here's the catch. Storing garlic in the refrigerator damages its potency. The cold, moist environment speeds up sprouting and invites mold. Once garlic sprouts or softens, it loses much of its flavor and nutritional strength. Worse, moldy garlic should never be eaten. It can carry toxins that irritate the gut. So, how do you store it properly? Keep whole garlic bulbs in a cool, dry place. Around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Use a mesh bag, a wire basket, or even a small ceramic bowl. Anything that allows air circulation. Avoid plastic bags and tightly sealed containers, which trap moisture and accelerate spoilage. Once you break a bulb and start using individual cloves, try to use them within 10 days. Here's a tip from Dr. Ethan Wells. Think of garlic like your immune system. It needs to breathe. Give it air and a little space, and it'll stay strong for weeks. And here's one more reason to store it well. Fresh garlic, crushed and left to sit for 10 minutes before cooking, produces the most allicin. That means more health benefits for your heart, brain, and immune system. So the next time you're tempted to toss garlic in the fridge, don't. Let it breathe, and it'll give back more than you expect. Sixth, onions. Let them breathe, let them last. Margaret always said her cooking started with an onion and ended with love. But one winter morning, as she pulled a soft, mushy onion from the fridge, she frowned. The outer layers were wet, and a strong, sour smell filled the air. "I just bought these," she whispered, confused. Like many people, she thought the fridge was keeping them fresh. But the cold had done just the opposite. Onions are rich in antioxidants, especially quercetin, which helps fight inflammation, supports heart health, and may improve immune function. They also contain sulfur compounds that promote detoxification and blood circulation, crucial benefits for older adults trying to reduce the risk of chronic disease. But onions are sensitive. When refrigerated, they absorb moisture and lose their crispness. The cold breaks down their natural structure, causing them to become soft, slimy, and prone to mold. The sharp, pungent flavor you expect? Gone. What's worse, onions stored in the fridge can actually absorb odors from other foods, making them taste off. The best way to store onions is simple. Keep whole, unpeeled onions in a well-ventilated basket or mesh bag in a cool, dry place between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. A pantry, cabinet, or cellar works perfectly. Never store them in plastic bags. They trap moisture and reduce airflow. And don't keep onions near potatoes, which release moisture and gases that can speed up spoilage. Here's a helpful tip from Dr. Ethan Wells. Your onions need a little independence. Separate them from other produce, give them airflow, and they'll give you flavor and health in return. Once an onion is cut, it's okay to refrigerate the unused half, but wrap it tightly in plastic wrap or store it in an airtight container. Use it within 3 to 4 days to prevent it from drying out or absorbing other odors. So next time you bring home a bag of onions, don't toss them in the fridge out of habit. Let them live where they thrive. And your meals will thank you. Seventh, bananas. Keep them warm. Keep them right. Every morning, Harold would slice a banana over his cereal, a habit he'd kept for decades. But recently, he noticed something odd. His bananas, stored in the fridge, looked fine on the inside, but had turned black and spotty on the outside within a day. "Are they going bad faster? Or am I doing something wrong?" he asked. The truth? His fridge was sabotaging the fruit he loved most. Bananas are packed with potassium, vitamin B6, and fiber, nutrients that support muscle health, blood pressure regulation, and digestion. For seniors, bananas are a go-to for steady energy and gentle support for the heart and gut. But they're also tropical fruits, and cold temperatures don't suit them. When you refrigerate bananas, you interrupt their natural ripening process. The peel turns black due to cell wall damage from cold exposure, usually anything below 58 degrees Fahrenheit. While the inside may remain edible for a while, the flavor becomes dull, the texture mushy, and the nutrients degrade more quickly. Even worse, the cold can stop unripened bananas from ever reaching full sweetness. The better way? Store bananas at room temperature, ideally between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. If they're green and you want to ripen them faster, place them in a paper bag or near other fruits like apples, which emit ethylene gas. Want to slow ripening instead? Separate each banana from the bunch. This simple trick slows down the ethylene reaction and keeps them firmer, longer. Dr. Ethan Wells offers a clever reminder. Bananas thrive where you do, in warmth and fresh air. Treat them like your morning walk, natural, unrushed, and full of benefit. And if your bananas do go a bit soft, don't toss them. Use them in smoothies, pancakes, or banana bread. Delicious ways to reduce waste and boost your fiber intake. So next time you think the fridge will save your bananas, think again. Let them breathe on the counter, and they'll reward you with flavor, energy, and comfort. Eighth, cucumbers. Cool, crisp, and not meant for the fridge. Emily loved her garden-fresh cucumber salads in the summer. Light, crunchy, and refreshing, just like her childhood. But one day, after storing cucumbers in the fridge for a few days, she noticed they had turned soft and watery. They used to be so crisp, she sighed. What seemed like a harmless habit was quietly ruining her favorite healthy snack. Cucumbers are over 95% water, making them incredibly hydrating. A big plus for older adults who may not drink enough fluids throughout the day. They're also low in calories and contain important nutrients like vitamin K, potassium, and antioxidants that help reduce inflammation and support healthy blood pressure. But here's the problem. Cucumbers are sensitive to cold. Storing them below 50 degrees Fahrenheit causes what's known as chilling injury. This breaks down their cell walls, leading to soft spots, pitting, and a watery texture. Worse, the flavor becomes dull, and they spoil much faster than if stored properly. So, what's the right way to keep cucumbers fresh and crisp? Store them at room temperature, ideally between 55 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and away from direct sunlight. If your kitchen runs hot, you can place them in a cool pantry or loosely wrap them in a paper towel inside a ventilated container. Avoid sealing them in plastic. Trapped moisture speeds up decay. If you've already sliced a cucumber, store the unused portion in the fridge, wrapped tightly, and use it within 1 to 2 days. Dr. Ethan Wells shares this helpful thought. Cucumbers are like your skin, hydrated, gentle, and best when handled with care. Keep them cool, not cold, and they'll stay crisp, just like you remember. Here's one more bonus tip. Cucumbers stored near apples, bananas, or tomatoes can ripen and spoil faster due to ethylene gas. Give them their own space for longer life and better crunch. Now that you know the truth about cucumbers, you'll never let the fridge steal their crispness again. Ninth, coffee. Preserve the aroma. Not in the fridge. Frank started every morning the same way. A quiet kitchen, the smell of freshly brewed coffee, and a deep breath before the day began. But lately, something felt off. The scent wasn't as rich. The flavor, a little flat. He checked the bag of beans, stored neatly in the fridge. That's when he realized the cold had been stealing the best part of his morning. Coffee, whether ground or whole bean, is more than a wake-up call. It contains powerful antioxidants like chlorogenic acid that help fight inflammation, support brain health, and may even protect the heart. For older adults, moderate coffee consumption can improve alertness, boost mood, and enhance focus, but only if it's stored right. Here's the truth. Refrigeration is the enemy of good coffee. Cold temperatures create condensation inside the container, introducing moisture that damages both flavor and freshness. Coffee is also highly absorbent. It picks up odors from nearby foods, which dulls its natural aroma. And if kept in the fridge long enough, it can even grow mold. The better way to store coffee? Keep it in an airtight container, stored in a cool, dark, dry place. Between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Avoid transparent containers or cabinets near the stove. If you buy whole beans, grind only what you need for each brew to maintain peak freshness. And skip the freezer unless you're storing bulk beans for long-term use. Moisture risk is just too high. Dr. Ethan Wells puts it simply. Coffee is like your energy. It needs the right conditions to shine. Keep it dry, keep it dark, and you'll keep it powerful. A quick bonus tip: invest in a vacuum-sealed coffee canister. It may seem small, but it can double the shelf life of your favorite roast and protect those deep, earthy notes that make your cup worth savoring. So before you tuck your coffee into the fridge thinking you're preserving it, pause. Let it breathe in the pantry, and it will reward you every morning with warmth and flavor. And now that we've covered all 9 foods, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned and how these small changes can lead to better health and more enjoyment in everyday life. Thank you for sticking with us through today's journey. If you've made it this far, it means you care deeply, not just about what you eat, but how you live. And that matters more than you might realize. I'm Dr. Ethan Wells. I've spent over 30 years working with older adults, folks just like you, who want to stay independent, vibrant, and sharp as the years go on. And here's what I've learned. It's not always the big things that protect your health. Sometimes it's the small choices we make every day, without even thinking, that quietly shape our future. Storing a tomato the right way, leaving garlic in the pantry instead of the fridge, freezing half a loaf of bread instead of letting it stale. These may seem like simple habits, but they add up. Why? Because everything you do for your body, every thoughtful decision, is a form of care, and the body responds to care with resilience. Our generation grew up in a time when waste not, want not was the rule. So it's understandable that many of us turn to the fridge for safety. It feels like a safe haven for food, but nature doesn't always work on our schedule. Some things need warmth, some things need air, some things need space, just like us. The 9 foods we covered today, potatoes, honey, tomatoes, bread, garlic, onions, bananas, cucumbers, and coffee, are examples of how storing something incorrectly can strip away its flavor, its nutrition, and sometimes even its safety. But now that you know, you have power. Power to make smarter choices. Power to preserve both food and health. And here's something else. These changes aren't just for your health. They're also for your joy. Food is memory. Food is comfort. The crisp bite of a cucumber. The rich aroma of morning coffee. The smooth sweetness of honey on warm toast. These moments matter. Don't let cold storage steal the warmth from your life. So, what can you do starting today? Walk into your kitchen and move the potatoes out of the fridge. Let your honey rest proudly on the counter. Hang your garlic in a small mesh bag by the stove. And give your tomatoes, your bananas, and your onions room to breathe. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't think you have to change everything at once. Start with one item, then another. Build habits slowly. They'll stick longer that way. Because living well after 60 isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Let your kitchen become a place of energy, not just storage. Let your habits reflect not fear of spoilage, but respect for nature. You've made it this far in life with wisdom. Trust that wisdom now. And remember, every time you reach for food, you're also reaching for life. Make that reach count. I'm proud of you for caring, proud of you for learning, and proud to be on this journey with you. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep treating your body like the masterpiece it truly is. And there you have it. 9 everyday foods you should never refrigerate, and how storing them the right way can help you feel better, eat better, and live smarter. It's not just about keeping food fresh, it's about keeping you fresh. Your energy, your comfort, your health. These small changes in the kitchen may seem minor, but over time, they support digestion, protect your heart, preserve nutrients, and even bring back the full flavor in the meals you love most. So, which one surprised you the most? Was it the coffee, the bananas, or maybe the bread? Let us know in the comments. We read everyone. If you found today's video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend or family member who might still be putting tomatoes in the fridge. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss our next episode packed with tips for healthy, joyful aging. Until next time, take care of your body, take care of your food, and stay wise, strong, and full of life. From all of us here at Smart Seniors, we appreciate you. See you soon.